Welcome to the Clash of the Reds podcast, your home of all things Liverpool, Manchester United, and unfortunately Arsenal. I'm your host Zahid, resident fan of the biggest and most historic club in England. Who else other than Liverpool? We have a whole host of things to discuss on today's podcast, and no, it is not the Epstein files, much to Uzi's dismay. We will be discussing the impending black hole we are approaching, the inevitability of an Arsenal league title win. The hate watch may well be ending thanks to the ineptitude of Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Who else will we all be ridiculing? Carrick seems to be steadying the ship. Arsenal are the only team with consistency, and Liverpool are flip-flopping more than Uzi's stolen slipper cabinet. Are we left with laughing at Spurs, who are the definition of ineptitude? Liam Rosinia is winning games with his management skills. So what more do we have left? Let's begin the pod and start off with introducing our esteemed fellow hosts. First of all, we'll start with Daniel. How are you feeling after Arsenal have started to steady the ship and the wobble is reducing?
Yeah, really happy after two back-to-back wins. 100% record in the Champions League, which shouldn't be sniffed at. And then a tough away day at Ellen Road, coming out comprehensive winners, 4-0. Just really pleased with that. And obviously thrilled the fact that our lovely neighbours next door to us managed to do us a little favour as well.
Screw Simon.
How did it feel, Sparks, supporting Spurs on a Sunday?
You didn't support me.
I had to go and do ghusl, had to do a shower after that, just like after the supporting Chelsea again. But it's all for a good cause.
I didn't cheer once. I'm very happy to say.
Unlike the Spurs fans behind the goal when Shirky scored, like they were literally cheering whenever City scored.
Were they? I saw the messages on X earlier on, basically saying, damn Solanke, how bloody dare you, and
Solanke and all of this.
Yeah, there was one streamer came online and basically going, I'm disowning my club because they tried to win.
Sounds like a very Spursy thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely, and you wonder why you've got no standards.
Let's move on to Dog. How are you feeling after a third win for United?
Happy days. Really content with the result. Not too happy with you putting me in the same sentence as Epstein. So just a disclaimer, I am not linked in those emails. I have no association whatsoever. Okay? Thank you.
He might get a haircut. With 2 more wins, he gets a haircut, though.
My luscious locks, bro.
2 more wins and maybe he'll trim his porn stash. Let's see. How are you feeling, Omar, after seeing a third United win?
Yeah, it was a tense one, but always love a good Fergie time winner. So happy days. We keep that push for top 4 Champions League position, which a few weeks ago I was not talking about. I was talking about Europa League. So brighter days ahead, hopefully.
Amazing. Well, let's see how the season pans out. We've got 14 games to go, as Pep Guardiola has been telling all of his team, his players to say. How are you feeling, Tamim, after Liverpool recorded another big win after the Champions League in midweek?
Yeah, very happy. It was a great victory. It's always a bit of a crazy one against Newcastle. So it's quite nice for a change that it was actually quite comfortable in the end. So yeah, quite happy with that. Very happy.
Yeah, I mean, when we went behind, I was like, this is one of those typical Liverpool Newcastle games. This is going to be an end-to-end game. Thankfully, it wasn't. But let's start with the United chat first of all. We shall go to Dog first. How does it feel that Carrick has equaled Amarim's win streak in his first 3 games in charge?
That's quite a depressing statistic. I've always been a big supporter of Ruben Amorim, and I still am. But, it's nice to see these positive results. I'm always exercising cautious optimism with United. I feel like this is just the upswing. When are we going to come down from the roller coaster? Right now we're pretty hard. When are we going to become flaccid? So it's just it's only a matter of time. My problem with United is when we get too excited, we can't really maintain the excitement. Gosh, so many porn puns today, isn't it? It's the moustache, man. We get too excited, United, as a team. The law thinks we're going to get cancelled. Who's going to cancel us, man? When we get too excited, I think we lose sight of the fact that, the problem with United has been consistency. We've been consistently shit for too long. And I mean, I like what Carrick's doing, but I'm just a bit concerned we might, get the wrong idea, wrong impression from this. So, taking it one game at a time. But happy days, though.
How did you find the how Fulham played, Omar? Were you surprised with how much the ball they had, how attacking they were, or is this what you were coming to expect from this Fulham team?
So I think I expected them to maybe be a little bit more defensive, but I didn't expect them to park the bus there. They are quite an attacking team. You can tell by their league position there. They're a good team, and we've struggled against them in the past. So I think they might have done did they do the double against us last season, or did we draw against one of them? But yeah, so I feel like we could have easily lost this game with the way that they were performing. But defensively, we were relatively solid. Not many of their chances went through. We didn't have as much control of the match compared to when we played against City and Arsenal. And that kind of showed in how much Fulham were able to attack against us. But yeah, we managed to keep the lead. Hopefully the mentality of the team's getting a lot stronger. You sort of seen it throughout the season where we go a goal down or the other team equalise and then our heads just drop. Whereas this season we have been fighting back a little bit more. Whereas under Amarin, we're fighting back to get that draw this season. Now that Carrick's here, we've hopefully been fighting back to get that win. But only one game. We have to give it a few more and see how he actually gets on and see where we go forward with this.
I want to see the video of Calvin Bassey getting pelted by Chukwueze when he jumped into that challenge and Bruno Fernandes just skipped past him for that United goal. Because he was giving it to him before during the Nigeria, when Nigeria went to their AFCON. But yeah, I felt so a few things that I thought was interesting. This is the third game in a row where Carrick's United have had less possession than the opposing team, and I thought that was quite interesting. We were all wondering how Carrick was going to fare against a team that were going to park the bus. I don't think Fulham really parked the bus. I think they were quite attacking, and even Troy Deeney was saying on Match of the Day that Fulham are just a striker away from being able to actually push further up the table, and I think that's true. I think they've got a good squad. Raul Jimenez is obviously not the player he was before he broke his skull, and I think he was at fault actually for the Casemiro goal, the Casemiro header, I believe. How does it feel for both for you, Uzi Dog, with the fact that Casemiro is leaving at the end of the season? And what is it with players coming towards the end of their contract? Suddenly they start to play and they start to look like the player that they were signed for.
It's so sassy the way you are. It was really sassy the way you asked that, Zai. Probably I got the twang going on. I don't know. Good luck to Casemiro now. I mean, I feel like we'll probably a bit of a retirement home for him. But I think with him going, it might be a good opportunity for someone else to step up. So, he's done his fair share, and good luck to him. Happy days. Nothing more I can add.
Yeah, there were some quality goals in the game, though. I mean, Cunha's finish at the near post to smash that in was lovely. I'm sure he was more than disappointed not to have started the last game and had to come on as a sub. But I thought Kevin's goal, top bins, that was beautiful. I mean, I was listening to the game on the radio and I was laughing when Fulham made it 2-2. I feel like this game week has been the 2-goal curse week, because there were multiple games where teams were not able to protect their 2-goal lead. But you know what? I was listening on the radio, and I think it was Steve Bruce was commentating. I think it was BBC Radio 5 Live. And when Sesko scored, he was waxing lyricals about the goal. But when I watched it back on Match of the Day, he created space for himself by, first of all, taking a bad touch. I don't know if anyone noticed that. His first touch was horrible, and then somehow he had enough space to swivel and shoot. And I think before that, he hit the post as well. So, I mean, let's see what happens as the season goes on and how he gets on. But yeah, it was interesting to see that he's gaining some confidence. I mean, Carrick was very happy for him. You can clearly see that Carrick is a decent man manager, and he can get the players going. But yeah, your goalkeeper as well. I mean, compared to like some of the shockers that you've had with Onana in the past, Lamine seems to be solid. Like, what do you think, Omar?
Yeah, so I think he has made a few mistakes this season, but they've been relatively minor. But the good thing about him is that he gives the defense the confidence that he's there to back them up and that he won't do something silly and something crazy. The mistakes that he has made, it's usually been either coming off his line a bit too early or something along those lines, relatively minor things. He seems to have a very good mentality, though. When he has made those mistakes, he hasn't let it phase him, and he hasn't sort of let it ruin the rest of his game. Whereas with Onana and a little bit of Bayende, if they made that mistake, you knew that maybe 5-10 minutes later, another mistake was coming. They would make another mistake in that match, and you just lose confidence that they'll for the rest of that match with them. Whereas the defense feel a lot more confident with who they had behind them. He just gives them that security there that they can do what they need to do without him doing anything crazy. I said he's still young. He's still got a lot of developing to do.
How old is he, Omar?
He's 22, I think. And I'm pretty sure he's 22.
He's younger. His assurance seems to be like he's got confidence of someone older than that. I'm surprised.
Yeah, because there was a bit of like.
Can I just say?
There's a bit of friction
between. Uzi's nodding there. Uzi is nodding there because he likes them young. But anyway, let's carry on.
He's 23.
There was a bit of friction between the board and Amrim over
young Epstein flip-flopping. What's going on, man? Like and subscribe.
Anyway, there was a bit of friction between the board at United over the Lamine signing. Like Martinez was basically giving his goodbyes to the Aston Villa crowd on the last game of the season, thinking it was either going to be United or Saudi. Say that again, Sparks?
That was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny. He's basically done all his sayonaras, this and the other. You've got Emery that's basically going there, and it's whoever I can't remember the name of the other keeper, and he's basically giving it. Oh yeah, we don't give a shit about Martinez now. It's this keeper, this that, and the other. and then he just does a U-turn and comes back.
It's pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious. But yeah, it's looking like a more assured signing in some ways, like cheaper than Martinez, younger than Martinez, probably less of a prick than Martinez as well.
So that's why the board wanted to go for him over Martinez, in the sense that he's got less of a reputation and he was considered more of a future-proof signing, whereas Martinez, we might only get maybe a few more years out of him and would cost a lot more. And so far this season, I say their decision has been vindicated. That they made one.
The games would have lasted longer though.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because he loves the time waste, doesn't he? That guy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
There was a little bit of controversy in the game as well, where there was a potential penalty opportunity. I think the ref had given a penalty for a challenge or a pull by Cuenca on Cunha, I believe.
Yeah.
And he went to VAR, and VAR then reversed it back to a free kick outside the box.
Yeah.
So our resident PGMOL police, the Arsenal fans, what did you make of that and the VAR's decision? There was something about it was factual or subjective, and there was all this nonsense going on. I don't know where they came from.
So Marco Silva was unhappy because, in theory, if the referee let it go on, and the Fulham player gets the ball, in theory it should be a corner rather than a free kick. So I can see Marco Silva's unhappiness, but and his point was that it was such a bad call that he had to save face and give it an indirect free kick as a result. I don't
mention of the fact that he didn't even go to the screen as well. I think Marco Silva was unhappy. He didn't even go to the screen. He just took the decision that VAR had given.
It's based on a factual decision. so he can't go to the screen. It's basically eliminated. There's no
Right.
case to answer, so it's basically just it reverts back to the last thing the referee says it's going to happen. So it's purely factual. It's not like, oh yeah, well, was it a penalty or not? It's factually overturned. So there's no case to answer straight away. But yeah, the policing of VAR and refereeing decisions are now Man City fans. So you need to get the experts on for your next show.
Sure, we'll
Rodri.
do. We'll do.
Rodri.
Rodri, yes, we're talking about you, Rodri. You mentality monster, you. Who have United got next? Who's their next league game?
Yeah.
Because
Home to Spurs.
Tottenham.
oh wow.
Top
I think
Spurs.
Spurs are what, 6 points above the relegation zone or something like that.
Yeah.
8, I think.
Yeah,
Sorry?
we helped him out by beating Leeds.
Yeah, we did.
So it was kind of, you know, we it was all love and whatever. They got points for us, and we took points off their relegation rivals.
North London was United this weekend.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of they're doing so well. I mean, to be honest, as well as they're doing in the Champions League, I think they had an incredibly favourable run of games because of the way the league format is. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they end up in the league, and if they just decide to just sack the league off and just focus on the Champions League. I mean, what would happen if they were to potentially get relegated? But
I mean, they basically did that last year and gambled on the Europa League, and they were lucky enough that who even got relegated last year? Was it Leicester? The Sparks, help me out.
Leicester, Southampton, and Ipswich.
Ipswich, yeah.
Yeah. Those three were just awful, and United and Spurs were just super lucky that those three were just completely dog crap.
I mean, in fairness, it's not much different this year. To be fair,
that's true.
You got Wolves are pretty much already relegated.
Yeah.
Burnley, who've well, they need to string 4 wins together without reply to get out at the bottom.
Yeah.
West Ham need to do the same, probably 3 wins without reply. Don't even see them doing that, to be honest. I think Forest will get out of there. I think Leeds will get out of there.
Yeah, Leeds look safe now, definitely.
Yeah, I think that'd be all right. I think it would be as it is. So I think Spurs will be safe anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just so bad there.
Apparently, West Ham have signed. I think their new the next man underneath Nuno is former Rayo Vallecano manager, who's like all about high press, high possession, attacking football. Apparently, I think they had a game where they played Barcelona. I think it was last season or something. It was the first time Barcelona had less than 50% possession in a game. And the manager was like waxing lyricals of that team, talking about how amazing they were. But they still lost 4-0. So it'll be interesting to see how that translates to what happens at West Ham. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Liverpool. Tamim, how are you feeling now that we've got 2 wins on the bounce? It's interesting. It's weird to say that and be excited about that after however long it's been. Long gone is that the worst unbeaten run that we've ever had. And let's see if we can get some wins together. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it was a good performance. You know, I think it was a very good performance. Like you said, it's just 1 game, well, 2 now, but you know, we'll have to see how it goes in the long term. It's hard to get your hopes up, like you said, after how this season has gone. But just focusing on the present moment, yeah, you know, we played very well in that second half. You know, starting off, we didn't start off very well at all. Newcastle were the better team, and for majority of the first half, you know, they had most of the ball, and Gordon gave them the lead. So I was thinking, oh, here we go again, another game where we look poor and we concede easily and
That
play
goal that
slow
we
boring.
conceded, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, Kirkins was just standing in front of him, went for his legs,
Mm,
and
yeah.
Alisson could do nothing to save it. I was like, this is another weekend of
Yeah,
absolute dross.
exactly. Making it look so easy for them, right?
Yeah.
Giving them all that time and space in the world. So I was expecting another one from Newcastle, to be honest. But then, yeah, something switched. We went up a gear or two, and then Vert started getting into the game. Ekitike started getting in the game, and it started to get a bit more end to end. It felt like a proper Klopp kind of game, where it was direct play, counter attacking, end to end kind of football. And I think that's largely because Newcastle did allow us to play that way, because they weren't afraid to sort of come at us, and they were playing quite high, not parking the bus. But yeah, we started playing much better football, like towards the end of the first half and the second half. And Ekitike's goals, well, both of them brilliant. Verts played really well to get the ball across to him, to dribble past those defenders, get the ball to him. Those two have a great connection, and it's only going to get better, hopefully. So, yeah, good to see. Ekitike, amazing striker. He's got it all, hasn't he? He's got the pace, power, he's got the confidence, the instincts, the finishing ability. Very early to say Fernando Torres region, like a lot of people are saying on social media, but he's got the potential for it. So let's see how his career goes. But just very happy to have him. Very happy to have him. As I said, overall, just happy with how it all went. Konate as well. It was good to see Konate on the score sheet. Unlikely scorer, but everything with what he's been through with his dad and everything, it was very emotional. And to get on the score sheet like that, that's a great thing for him. And it's not just him scoring the goal as well. He actually...
Oh, you're
Sorry,
back.
did it cut out slightly? There are plenty of opportunities for Newcastle where they were, trying to obviously push for equalizers, push for their second goal, but he looked rock solid. It was good to see, because for a lot of the season he has not been at his best. He has not been at the level where we've seen him at, and it's been a question of, is his head at Liverpool? Is he declining? All of those questions, right? But that was a proper vintage Konate performance. So yeah, overall very happy. As I said, it's just one game. Let's see how it goes. Let's keep up that sort of that level against other teams too. But happy days.
I think, I completely agree with everything you're saying. Although when I saw Konate's bald head, I was like, who is that centre back? I was like, it's a long time since I've seen him with a bald head. But yeah, no, I mean, I felt emotional for him, like crying after he scored. Like, obviously, like his dad has just passed away, and Slot said after the game that after how dire he saw we were defensively, and I think probably the fear of having Wataru Endo as centre back, he called up Slot to say, I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to come back and play in the team. I mean, we're starting to see what Florian Wirtz can do. Just to see him hopefully do that consistently. His ability to snake through in between players and dribble through, for that assist that he had for Ekitike. Ekitike is looking like that assured. Every team wants to have that striker that when they're on the ball, they can make something of it. They can score a goal. He could have got his hat trick as well. He used the outside of his foot to score his second goal. I don't know why he didn't do that. And the opportunity for the third, he side-footed it and he went wide. I think Newcastle did actually, at the beginning of the game, they did sit back and they had Anthony Gordon and Elanga there ready on the counter, usually parked up at the halfway line waiting for the ball. Also, we didn't even talk about the fact that Anthony Gordon could have got sent off right at the beginning of the game. I'm sure his studs were up when he took out Alisson at the beginning there. But Mo has
no chance.
Come on, Jesus Christ!
He had every right to go for that ball, man. Had every right to go for that ball.
Okay. It wasn't even a booking either.
Oh, Come on.
No. He give a booking because of the blooming crowd. It's not book. He got every right to go for the ball.
Yeah, the crowd basically referee. Home crowds basically referee a lot of the games these days. Even the whiny Ellen Road crowd, which we'll get onto later. But yeah, carry on, Zahid.
That's an indictment of the referees in the Premier League. Then, if they can't control the game because they're worried about what the home side is saying.
Which is what we've been saying for years. Yes, correct.
But anyway, Mo has put a question in here saying, does Isak get back into the starting 11 if this works and the Ekitike link-up carries on? I would say no. I think he needs to prove himself. He's got he's not. I don't think he's coming back for the rest of the season anyway. So
he should be back by April allegedly. So
yeah, I mean, let's see how. I mean, he'll probably trickle in and he'll start to play games. Obviously, he's coming back from injury, so he's not going to go straight into the starting lineup anyway. But I would say, why change something that's working so well for us? And I'm hoping will continue to work well for us as the season goes on. Obviously, we paid a lot of money for him, and he is supposed to be our flagship centre forward. So he's going to have to integrate him somehow. I don't know how that will happen, but I think Slot actually, as much as he's been ridiculed this season, he does tend to change. Even last season, we would start the game and it'd be a bit cagey in the first half, and then in the second half, Slot would look at the tactics, look at the way the other team had set up, and then he would change his tactics for the second half. And usually we then go on and win games. And he seemed to figure out Newcastle in the second half. He made some tactical changes. It was interesting to see Gakpo coming in off the wing and almost, being an extra man in midfield. I mean, I was disappointed with Salah's performance. It was a lot of balls that he tried to put into the box that just got blocked. He wasn't trying to beat his man. I mean, I think he looks better as just hugging the touchline. But it was another performance that went missing. Really, he wasn't that influential in that game. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I'm pretty happy that we've won another game. We needed that. We scored 4 goals as well after scoring 6 in the previous game. So yeah, I'm quite happy. But yeah, what do you think of our next round of Premier League games? I think, are we playing City next?
City.
City. Yeah, yeah, and Anfield though. So anything can happen. City have been quite hit and miss this season, right? They could have been way more back in that title race if they were at their best. But they're just looking quite dodgy defensively.
Stop sounding so disappointed, Hamim. Come on.
What's that?
Stop sounding so disappointed.
Disappointed?
A few, man.
Oh, no. I'm just trying to think on my words, mate. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
You know what it is? When your team is out of the title race, yeah, and you just want it to stay exciting, you're just hoping that there's another team that can push the other team to the end of the season. And City are just disappointing us. So what more? There's nothing more to do. But yeah,
I couldn't care less if it's not my team, to be honest.
Well, I guess it's to keep the season interesting. I mean, I've got family members and friends who just are finding additional sports to try and watch because they're just
You've got Champions League to play for now.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, this is one thing that we were going to talk about actually, about the Premier League and the difference between the Premier League and the Champions League, and how teams play differently in the Champions League compared to the Premier League. And I said this last week actually, that I felt that the Premier League was superior to the Champions League. But I don't know if it's just that this season Premier League teams, especially the smaller Premier League teams, have chosen, including United, to park the bus and play on the counter. And it's just this season, for some reason, the Premier League has been very defensively sound. But in the Champions League, teams seem to play more attacking football. But what's to stop teams in the Champions League over 2 legs choosing to sit back in the first leg?
Nothing. They will do that in the knockouts anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how. I guess until we get to the knockout phase, I don't know what will happen or how it will be. But so far, it seems that we've got 5 teams in the top 8 from the Premier League, right, including Tottenham. So
can I just say one thing actually, because I think Man United get basically the starting 11 at least gets a bit of a rough rep, and I think it's a far better starting 11 than people give it credit for, and I just think it's better on the day, and obviously they only play 1 game a week, which really helps them at the moment. So they've got time to get ready, and I think the teams are like Fulham, the Wolves, whatever. They think they can go toe to toe with them, and they just can't. They just don't have the team good enough and strong enough to go toe to toe with Man United. They need to give them some credit, and they need to sit back themselves, and they need to be happy with the point rather than go for the juggler every single time. When Wolves played us, I think if they played Man United like they played us, I think they get at least a point. They may even got 3 points. But the way that they played Man United and basically just let them cut. They got good attackers. They're going to cut you open, man.
I mean, Wolves only started playing football after they conceded, right? Like up until that point, they were just parking the bus on majority of.
Not really. No. They had a couple of attempts by that point.
Yeah, they tried to attack them. Just on the point about like the strength of like the Premier League versus Europe, it's just crazy. Like you look at this weekend's results. Like Spurs came into the league and that fixture 15th, and then finishing above Liverpool in the league phase of the Champions League. Just kind of shows you how much strength the Premier League does have. Whether actually the Premier League is kind of becoming a Super League in some ways. City just about getting it top 8 just on the nick of their teeth based on like Inter and Madrid faltering. But yeah, like teams like Bournemouth, like number of players I wouldn't mind having at Arsenal at Bournemouth, like, Krupa Jr. is really good. I think I said this point before, if you go down the list of the Premier League teams, like there's at least 1 or 2 really good players in there that you wouldn't mind having at your club. And that's not necessarily true for some of the teams in Europe. Like I think just showing the financial power that the Premier League does have.
Yeah, the money that the smaller Premier League teams can throw out there to sign players is way and above what any of the teams in all the other major European leagues, the smaller teams.
Because they're percentage based, and we do it per point, and it's much fairer way of doing it. And if they actually did their prize money across the whole league, they'd actually get a stronger league. But the problem is that the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, they don't want it. And then they cry about the Premier League, and they cry about this, that, and the other. And you're like, well, change to our format then, and they won't do it.
And presumably TV deals as well, presuming like how it would be in their countries.
It's evenly split.
Right. Okay. Fair.
Okay. So shall we go on to then talk about Arsenal and this game, which was, I guess this is after Arteta had come out and talked about how he wanted the fans to get behind the team, and how he'd spoken to the team and said, look where we are, look at what position we're in, and to take stock in where they are rather than to worry about, where they are, and be happy about how much they've achieved already and where they can get to by the end of the season. I thought it was quite good that he was, in terms of the way he framed it, and says like in 3 months, it's just 3 months away, to make it seem as small as possible that you're getting close to the finish line. And to take stock and things like that. So yeah, how did you find the game? I mean, I've got here in my notes, death by corner kick, and Madueke is I think he's found his place in this Arsenal team. If he can get in, like he's an expert at getting a corner from the byline. It's incredible. But it's like, what do teams do? Like normally you would push the attacker down the byline, and then you'd accept a corner, because you can't let them cut in, you can't let them on the inside, so you push them to the outside. But then Arsenal on corners are deadly, so teams are struggling. They don't know how to deal with it. But it was interesting because Shay Given mentioned it on Match of the Day, and he was like, if Leeds had put like 3 attackers on the halfway line, then Arsenal would have had to play less players in the box. But I don't know. I guess how did you think the game went, Daniel? What are your thoughts?
Just kind of going back to your points on Arteta. So Miguel Delaney from The Independent spoke about what Arteta actually had said in that Monday meeting. So often get criticised about why I'm often like glazing Arteta to quote Dog. But he just showed elite leadership skills. At a time when the team needed a strong leader and a strong manager to kind of pick them up, he spun it the other way around. So rather than thinking about what you could lose, it was about this is a fantastic opportunity to go and create a legacy, to quote Declan Rice. Like, this is your chance to kind of etch yourself in Arsenal history. Think about what you could win. So he spun it the other way around. And Arsenal came out looking like we could taking that message on, really. And I was really, really worried seeing Saka pull up with an injury just before. And it's like, okay, another away day. The night before, the team had to get their flight cancelled and hit the coach up instead. And I was like, this could be a really, really tough away day fixture for Arsenal. But we came out the blocks flying. And yeah, it did take 2 corner kicks, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, Leeds have had one of the best set piece records in the league. So that's no mean feat. And to go 2-0 up, and they literally had no reply for our corners. And credit to Madueke as well, because he was getting absolute pelters after his performance against Cairo Almaty. So to come in kind of cold.
That one clip of him shooting, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
To the moon.
So many different angles of it. He's just getting absolute pelters for it. And yeah, like he showed he wanted to kind of prove himself on that day. So pleased for him actually that the corner kick own goal was accredited to him in the end. It was given to him as a goal. So officially, own goal isn't our top scorer now, alongside Gyökeres. And then come the second half. I think one thing I forgot to mention as well, a big call from Arteta to drop Martin Odegaard and play Kai Havertz there. Really, really thinking about that physical battle. And yeah, like it seemed to do the trick, like earn the right to play. And when we kind of were on the ropes a little bit, Arteta changed up. Havertz comes off, Gyökeres comes off, Odegaard comes on. Well, we have our borders back onto the pitch rather than our fighters. And at that point, like, Leeds just gave up. Like, it could have been 5, 6, or 7. Like, it was that emphatic in a performance. I mean, I don't know what you think, Sparks.
Yeah, just what to say about the press conference. I think he handled it perfectly. I think not only from a player's point of view, from fans' point of view, you'll never please everybody in of an Arsenal persuasion, because there's plenty out there that just still want the team to lose so that they're proved right for whatever reason. I just give up with those kind of people, to be honest with you. Just want to win at all costs, to be honest. And I obviously, as you say, Daniel, with Saka being pulled out in the build up, we knew we had to rely on Madueke. He had a bit of a rough time of it with probably the last 3 or 4 kind of games, but he has showed a bit of promise, although the figures don't really back it up as such in the Premier League. But yeah, I spoke to my mate and I said it's quite nice when he actually uses his brain, isn't it? Because it's, I explained it as it was like a wind-up toy, and you face him in the direction, wind him up to the max, and he just gone. So there's no product whatsoever, just A to B, forget about it. And that's what I felt in the last couple of performances from him.
All fire, no ice. Like no composure when it comes to like.
Absolutely nothing. But it was completely different against Leeds, I thought, and I think it's a bit harsh to kind of put everything on to the point of corners and stuff, because the team were trying to get in there, and it was only that they were putting it out for another corner by absolute hook or crook, no matter what they were doing. So I think we offered plenty, but the pressure told in the end, and it's to be 2-0 that first half was quite good, and then to change it up with Ødegaard in the end, and basically him get 2 assists, kind of in that sort of vein as well. I think one was kind of a pre-assist, I guess, if you want to go with that. But it was like, well, it was being influential, if you know what I mean. So I'm not saying that goes towards his stats or anything like that. I'm just saying for the visual aspects, it's nice to see him actually getting involved and doing something that basically commits players, and it comes out with an end result. Quite nice to see. Go on.
Would you start habits of Ødegaard going forward, or does it depend on the game? Like, how would you?
Depends on the game. The thing is, I think that the whole Premier League now, I don't think it's about starting 11 at all. I think there are enough games, apart from if you're Man United right now, but they'll get it to that point. Obviously, no, they'll get back into Champions League, and so they should with the squad that they've got, and that'll allow them to rebuild that kind of momentum to get that squad back. I do think that when they get back into Champions League, I don't think that they'll spend enough money to kind of compete the first season or two. So it will take a few years to kind of build back up that persona, but they'll do enough to be in those positions again. Because I think their squad is as good as Chelsea's, and it wouldn't take too much for them to usurp that and kind of get back to it. But digressing, but I just think that there's no starting 11. I think if you're playing a guy for 60 minutes, you've got to be prepared to sub him out for something else for 30 minutes if it's not working. I'm not sure that's what Liverpool have tried to do. So I think that's probably going to take a bit of time to resolve. But I think that's the way the league goes. Essentially, you've got to be on all fronts. Mm-hmm. Then every 3 days, as it is now, you've literally got to have 2 and 3 players in certain positions, and be able to functionally rotate it.
I think Arsenal have done that really well in terms of having 2 players for every position. I think that's what Chelsea tried to do. But I was saying that, I mean, Liam Rosenior made the call, and I think he made 3 substitutions at halftime against West Ham, and they all came good. So
but that was my point with the Man United Chelsea kind of thing. I think the first 13, 14 players for both Man United and Chelsea are pretty good, and but the drop off from that position to the next level, that's so huge. But Man United doing it the right way at the moment, and basically picking the best starting 11. We all know that the Chelsea job is kind of a bit of a catwalk for players to be sold on the open market at the biggest profit margin possible, and maybe that is a luxury he didn't have. When Rosenior came in, he was told that the League Cup wasn't important. Now, obviously, he's had that discussion now with the owners, and they've flipped that around a little bit. But he thinks his squad's better than it is, like Maresca did, to a point. And he tried to... He gone, it's only West Ham. And
I think the Chelsea owners actually came out in an interview, I think, a little while ago, and said that their mission is to basically be as profitable as they can. They weren't so fussed about
the League Cup. That's
doing
what they
well.
said. Yeah, but that's what they said. The day Rosenior got employed, they basically said they weren't interested in the League Cup. They would rotate through it and this, that, and the other. So, but maybe they're putting some stock into it now because they're not guaranteed Europe as well.
I mean, talking about just going back to United quickly, talking about United's starting 11. What do you think, Uzi, about Kobe Mainoo's performance and how he's had a consistent run in the team and how he's been playing? What do you think? Considering how he was ridiculed and kicked out of the team by Amorim, what do you think of him? And you, Omar, as well. What would you think?
I think he's really good. I mean, Mainoo's a great talent for us, and I think especially after the kerfuffle with Amorim, even with his brother doing that little stunt in the stadium, I was a bit concerned that we might isolate him. But Carrick's obviously one of the old guard. He knows how to kind of unite the team, and I'm happy to see Mainoo grow in confidence. I feel like Carrick's probably the best person to manage his talent, especially at that age. I just hope we can kind of keep the momentum going, because United's had a history of having really talented players who just become demotivated and suddenly then they get shipped off elsewhere and then suddenly perform a lot better. So it's a good start. It's work in progress. So yeah.
And what about yourself, Omar? What do you think about? I was just thinking now about how everything's hunky dory at United with Fergie sitting in the stands with one of his former players managing the team. But what's going to happen in the summer when you sign a new coach? Is Fergie going to go back to being a bad smell at the club, or is he going to be a bit like Uzi's shoe cabinet? But is he going to be? Do you see Fergie still staying there and having an impact on just the club in general, or do you think whoever the club bring in as a new manager will be able to handle Fergie and everything around the club?
I don't think he has that much influence. I think that's just him and Roy Keane have this long-standing beef, and Roy Keane will do anything to have a little dig at Alex Ferguson there. But last season was when they removed his removed him from the board of directors or whatever, or where they took away his £2 million a year payments, etc., to cut costs. And I don't think he has much influence on who they hire, who the transfers are, who they hire as the coach. They might go to him for advice. I don't think he has as much influence as what is made out by certain parts of the media there. So, I think he'll still be there in the crowds. He'll still be supporting the club. He's a great stalwart for the club. It's good to see him in there. I wouldn't mind seeing him back in the stadium.
Fantastic. So Sparks mentioned something about Liverpool earlier, Tamim, about how Slot manages his substitutions. And as far as I'm aware, he does try and provide attacking substitutions. I mean, mostly. He does make some dubious decisions sometimes, but what are your thoughts on Slot and the way he manages the game?
Yeah, I think he could definitely be rotating more. What the discussion you and Sparks were having about the Premier League not being about first 11 anymore. It's about the 13, 14 players and the squad depth overall, because the amount of games there are outside of the Premier League, how intense the league actually is, how much the fitness wise, speed, all of that, it's not just about the first 11, and it's also about how you approach certain teams as well. And it just feels like Slot just wants to just play the same players over and over again, regardless of how the games go. Like Gakpo could be having 6 stinkers in a row and he's still guaranteed a start. Salah's been playing stinkers the whole season. I know that's a bit more of a complicated case because he's a club legend and he doesn't want to maybe drop Salah too early and then get turned off by the fans or whatever. But wrong terms to use, maybe. Whatever floats his boat, right? No pun intended, or maybe pun intended, but the point
you can live stream with me later. Don't worry.
What was that? He could have played Rio more. He could have played Chiesa more. He could have, yeah. I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda. And I'm not a world-class coach, but I would have loved to see players like Rio play more, Chiesa more as well. We know Chiesa's had his fitness issues, but he's come on, scored some winners. You know, there's plenty of room for rotation, definitely.
Can I just make a point about Arteta's press conference? So he was asked extensively about his proposal to the Premier League to kind of equalise the Premier League substitution rules for outfield players alongside Champions League squads. So for Champions League squads, it's 18 outfield players, and it's 2 less in the Premier League. So Arteta basically advocating for it to be in line with what Champions League squads are. And initially, I think we spoke offline, Zahid, about like, you know, it kind of favours the big 6 teams. But I look at it from the other perspective, like if the rule was to, like those 2 extra players have to be academy graduates, it kind of forces the hand for coaches to then dip into their academy and play their youth. So I could definitely see what Arteta was saying. And just thinking like he made the point, like, you know, if you're a chef and you're told that you can't come into the kitchen that day, like how demoralizing would that be compared to like a football player whose job is quite unique in that sense. And he used the word mental health, and I think, you know, he was kind of scoffed at it a little bit before when he used that phrase, but I could definitely see where he was coming from. Like for players, the currency is minutes for them. I think that could help kind of like maybe enable teams to kind of, and managers to kind of like dip into the accounts a lot more, promote youth a lot more.
See, I understand this whole the issue of mental health when it comes to footballers and high performance athletes and things like that, and how them playing is important for. I mean, they're there to play football, right? Or you think they are, but I also wonder how much of an influence, like if agents and players are driving for more wages and more, you know, sign-ons and bonuses and things like that, then teams are going to have to push for revenue somewhere, and that's going to be more games. What you were saying about if they had to play academy graduates, I mean, they could just be bench warmers for the whole season. You know, they don't necessarily get onto the pitch unless there's like an injury crisis or something. But yeah, I think I don't see anything wrong with necessarily having it equalized with both. And I mean, just talking about Champions League, actually, I wanted to give a shout out or a potential shout out to the absolute shithousery of Jose Mourinho. I mean, there's everything that happened between with Real Madrid, and the fact that there was all this conspiracy as well from, I think it was Ali McCoy, saying, did Jose delay coming out for the second half just so he could see what was going on in the other games? Although towards the end of the game they were wasting time, thinking that I think it was 3-2, and the keeper was wasting time, the team was wasting time, thinking that they were going through anyway, but mathematically they were going out, and everyone in the stands knew, and even Rui Costa, their club president, was going mental about the fact that they were just wasting time, until it finally filtered down to the coaching staff. And then, yeah, I mean, you could call it a stroke of genius potentially of Mourinho telling the goalkeeper to go up for the corner. And as a Liverpool fan, it just reminded me of what Alisson did to get us Champions League football that season with that incredible header. But this was just this was another level of. I guess this is the one. As much as people talk about how they dislike this format of the Champions League and this whole league phase, and you know, teams aren't playing each other and all that sort of stuff. I guess this one week was lovely. Sorry?
I think it's definitely made it more exciting in terms of the permutations.
Yeah, only in this final week of fixtures where everyone plays at the same time. But yeah, no, I mean, I've just got to give a shout out to Jose Mourinho. Like, as much as he's maligned and hated and everything, like he's done some incredible things, and I actually kind of miss him being in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's a character, right? So charismatic.
Yeah, it's incredible character.
It's so dumb for broadcasting though that they all play at the same time. It's absolutely crazy. You're just like, well, you can't watch everything.
Yeah.
You know, they don't put them on anyway, and you literally just have to watch 2 days worth of reruns for the next day because you missed everything. So it doesn't make any sense, really.
I was at the Claret game, and obviously everyone around me was like more interested to see if City would drop out the top 8. So obviously we knew we were through, but everyone was just checking their phones like every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it had that kind of feel.
But the other thing with youth players, actually, just going back to that very quickly, the biggest problem with the format that's in the, well, everywhere really, with the SCR and everything, it doesn't equate for youth products. So if you basically bring players through your academy, the only way you're actually making any financial benefit from them is if you sell them. And that shouldn't really be the case, to be honest. It should be a case of you should be rewarded for using them in your team and actually doing it, and not having to bring in, you know, £100 million signings every other week, you know, 600 million quid spent in the calendar year. You know what I mean? You should be basically, they should be promoting, basically rewarding from within, and they just don't do it. It's horrible.
Yeah, I agree, Spots.
Yeah, I think the Premier League has a bit of an issue with the fact that how much money there is in the Premier League, and how it's easy for clubs to go and bring in players from abroad as opposed to promoting youth from the team itself. It's quite bad. I mean, it reminds me of what's happened to Raheem Sterling and how he's been released from his contract, and he's chosen to sort of, rather than sit on the bench and collect his wages, he's chosen to terminate his contract and find football elsewhere, which I think is commendable for him. And it was interesting that Carragher came out and only had good things to say about him. I don't know if it's just because he was his former teammate and whatnot, but yeah, it's I hope for his sake. He's one of England's most successful players, you know, as an Englishman, and all the trials and tribulations that he's faced in his career when it comes to racism and things like that. I think he's as much as he has been, as much as he's done in his career. I remember when he was at Liverpool, when he absolutely tore Company apart, everything that he did at Manchester City. It'll be interesting to see where his career goes next. But I only wish the best for him, really.
Yeah, he's had the honour of playing for Arsenal as well as Liverpool. I'm not going to be making outrageous claims here, Zahid.
No, he hasn't hit the outstanding heights for us or anything like that. But I just don't think he's respected enough, to be honest. And he's done a lot in his career, and he's not going to 38 or anything like that. But he's done so much. So.
He's only just turned 30, so like he can still contribute. But yeah, I guess like to kind of like
Raptors don't go on forever though. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, of course, and he's playing since he was 17. So you know, like definitely peaked a couple years before he joined Chelsea.
I wonder if he just needed a run of games. I don't know if he needs a run of minutes, like regular minutes, game per game, to get some form. And I don't know if he just didn't have that kind of opportunity at Arsenal. But yeah, it just didn't work out for him there.
I mean, he did. We had a massive injury crisis, and he's still flattered to deceive. Saka pulled up on Saturday, and thankfully we had England international £50 million Madueke to pull on. Last season that would have been Raheem Sterling, and it wasn't a good outcome for us last year. We were front three of Ranieri, Sterling, and Trossard. But yeah, I think maybe to wrap up the pod, just a shout out to Mikel Merino. It sounds like he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So he's had surgery on his foot. And I think I just feel quite sorry for him. He was coming into some really, really good form just before this injury. And
he's not dead.
Yeah, I know.
He's not retiring.
He's not dead, mate.
It's not an Arsenal podcast.
Jesus, he will play again. He's not Raheem Sterling. He will play again. Jesus Christ.
Pull out the violin. Come on.
Oh, my God, man.
Recovery, and I'm one fan over here, man.
Yeah. I mean, but he'll play again, you know? Don't know where, don't know when. Do you want to talk about Jacquet? Jacquet is quick. Do the Jacquet thing quickly, because
we're willing for him.
Yeah, we were linked to him to start off with, but I think that was very loosely, to be honest. And then it was Chelsea that were the cast iron approach to get them, and then you guys ended up with him. What are you saying? Is he a good addition? Obviously, you're not going to get him until summer. Is it summer now?
I think so. Basically, as far as I'm aware, his club were not willing to release him for the rest of the season. They wanted to keep him until the end of the season. So I guess that's the agreement that's been made, that he will join us at the end of the season, beginning of next season. Apparently, it's going to be somewhere between around 55 million up front, and then add-ons of about 5 million. So it could rise to about 60 million. But yeah, he seems to be, I don't know too much about him, but from what I've seen, he's the kind of player that can play, he can sort of drop in, and he can drop into the midfield, or he can take a more central role from where he sits on the defensive line. But yeah, I mean, he seems like an exciting player. We need defensive reinforcements. It's a shame that we don't get to have that now. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I guess we're just gonna have to wait until the end of the season. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he fits into the team, and what he does next season. But yeah, other than that, we haven't. I think that's our business done, really. I don't think there's anything else much going on. I don't think there were many. I think Mateta's potential move to AC Milan has fallen through.
He needs an operation on his knee, which he's needed for a year.
Right. So hence why Milan pulled out.
Yeah, exactly. I think we signed 2 youth players. That's about it.
Yeah, well, we signed a player called Dixon for 3 million.
Yeah.
So a bit of a throwback as well.
Indeed.
So
Not
It's
wrong.
a shame we didn't get anyone though.
Just Dixon, not wrong.
Oh yeah, go for it. Go and tell him.
or Cider.
I was going to say it's a shame we didn't actually get any reinforcements this window. I know, it seems like a good signing, this Jacquet, and he's been highly sought after by Arsenal, Chelsea. So I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about him, but being this highly sought after, clearly there's a player there, right? But we were close to getting that Gertruda, is that how you pronounce his name, from RB Leipzig. He's currently on loan to Sunderland, but he's quite rated in Holland. He makes the national team all the time.
I think
he's quite
he played under Slot, I think, at Feyenoord.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And he's always seen as like this solid sort of fullback that can play centre back, defensive midfield, and I was like, that's just what we need. Not someone. He's not someone who's going to start, but cover bases while players like Konate, Gomez, get injured, Bradley, etc. That seemed like the perfect kind of player you want for the rest of the season, just as a short-term thing. So that's quite a shame that didn't work out. But apparently that's because Sunderland couldn't find cover for him, and also we were quite happy with Gomez coming back. Apparently he's coming back quite soon, but that means nothing because he'll come back and he'll probably get injured again next week. So Gomez returning to full fitness, in my eyes, doesn't mean anything.
If he could just get a string of games together, like he honestly, it's just ridiculous how injury prone he is. I mean, he's our longest serving player at the club, and he's never scored a goal,
It's not a new thing, though, is it? It's not a new thing that he's injury prone. So
No. I mean,
No.
I guess he's sort of there in the background and he drops in whenever we need him to. He just can't get a string of games together and stay consistently in the starting lineup. I mean, there was a time when he was playing for Liverpool and he was touted as a part of England's next centre-back pairing. And obviously that disappeared after a while. So, yeah. I mean, if we go on now to look at the fixtures that we've got coming up next week, there's a game on Friday that is Leeds Forest, which will be an interesting game at the other end of the table. But we can start first of all with the early kickoff on Saturday, which is United at home to Tottenham. So, United fans, how do you feel about the game coming up for United?
Omar, you first.
Well, based on our run of performances and compared to Tottenham's, we should win, but I feel like this one will be a bit more challenging. We've come off 3 good results. I feel like this is one where we slip up a little bit. One of them ones where we don't perform against one of the poorer teams in the league. So I would maybe go for a 1-1 draw.
I think United's going to pace Tottenham, probably 3-0. And I'll get closer to shaving off this porn stash, according to you, Zahid.
Yeah, we'll see how close we get to that. Arsenal have a League Cup game, very important League Cup game during the week. What are your thoughts, Daniel, on that game? You're at home in the second leg, right, to Chelsea?
Yeah, 1-goal lead. It's going to be tough. Yeah, I see us going through, but it's going to be a tight game. Chelsea have been leaking goals, and I think that theme will continue tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Arsenal. Sparks, what do you think?
2-1 win. I don't think it'll be a problem at all. I think we'll go out, get a couple of goals early, and I think they might nick one back right at the end, but that'll be about it.
That game is tomorrow, right? It's on Tuesday.
Tomorrow, yes.
Interesting.
Hopefully the bloody weather's all right.
Yeah. Are you there, Sparks?
Huh?
Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to it?
And then, of course, you've got you're at home on Saturday to Sunderland.
Sunderland, yeah.
So they're just coming off a 3-0 win at home. I mean, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I expect you guys to do what you usually do, but I wonder if that midweek game, that Tuesday game, will have any impact. Sorry?
What, draw? We've been drawing recently. No.
Nope.
I mean, I'll just go first. I'll give my prediction. Sparks, do you want to go first?
Oh, 3-0.
Oh, Sunderland, 3-0. Okay.
No, not 3-0 Sunderland, 3-0 Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 2-0 to us, yeah.
Interesting. Let's okay. Tamim, Liverpool are playing home to City. So what are your predictions for the score in that game?
City,
I'll go 2-2 actually. I think we're definitely going to get at least a goal against that poor City defense, and they're also
yeah, Chez Long.
Do you want to try that again? You're back.
You froze, Tamim.
Oh, did I? Oh, man. Okay. So I'm going to go for 2-2. I think their defense is a bit dodgy. We'll definitely score at least a goal, but also our defense is pretty dodgy as well. So, yeah, they're going to get at least a goal against us, that's for sure. So 2-2, I'll go for.
I have a suspicion that with the fact that we're playing at home and with the fact that City haven't been playing that well, I think we can win this game. I think we might win it 3-1. I'm going to say. I may well be wrong, but let's see how we get on.
I think you both win 3-1. I think Man United 3-1, and I think Liverpool 3-1.
I'd say for United, I could see them winning as well. I'd probably say, I mean, it's an early kickoff. They're playing at home. Yeah, no, I could see them winning by 2-goal margin for sure.
Yeah, it's not under lights or anything like that, so quite good for them.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Danielle, on that game? The
United Spurs.
yeah.
I can see United winning, but equally I can see it being a draw as well. But I'll go for a 2-1 win to United, just because they're at home. On the Liverpool Man City game, I think the fact that Man City will go strong against Newcastle, they really want to go through to that final. Pep pretty much said as much in his press conference, and Liverpool would have had a week's rest. So I think that will probably go into your advantage actually. So 2-1 or 2-2. Either way, I see City dropping points again, and hopefully that means us just extending our lead at the top of the table.
Fantastic. So, what do you think, Doug, about this City-Liverpool game?
I'm not sure actually.
What was that delay?
I'm just like
You're lagging.
Yeah, pretty much like.
Brain buffering.
I mean, it'll be nice if a City win, so they put pressure on Arsenal and Arsenal capitulate. But we're past that now. It's not going to happen. I reckon it'd be a really boring draw, 1-1. You know.
What about yourself, Omar? What do you think about the City-Liverpool game? Or Liverpool-City game? Where do you see that going? Oh, you're muted. Omar, you're muted.
No, I think I agree with Uzi that I feel like a draw is on the cards there. Even though City's defense have been a bit weak, I feel like they're going to be coming off a couple of bad results there. So I feel like they'll be coming out fighting. So yeah, I think it's going to be one of them tight 1-1 draws.
Okay, I just have to say there's a lot of coming in that sentence, but thank you very much. And on that bombshell, I think it's time for us to say goodbye. And I had a lovely time hosting. I don't think I'll be allowed to do it again. I've enjoyed the time I've had.
Please do it again.
So please, can I just say, everyone who's watching, thank you for staying with us this whole time. And if you could please like and subscribe and join us on our next pod next week, that would be lovely.
Shout out to Sparks as well. Thank you for coming on as ever. Please like and subscribe to his channel as well if you're watching.
Definitely. All right. So that's from all of us. Over and out.